In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to forget how much the financial systems around us shape our lives. The US dollar has been the pillar of global trade for decades. But as emerging powers grow, the question arises: what happens when a handful of countries decide the dollar's time in the spotlight is up? The BRICS nations have already made their move. But what does that mean for the balance of global power and for you, the average person? Let's break down what BRICS is actually doing to challenge the US dollar. It all started with trade agreements between these countries. In the past, when nations in BRICS traded, they had no choice but to use the US dollar, the world's reserve currency. But in recent years, that's changing. China and Russia, two of the most prominent players in BRICS, have formed strong financial ties. They've struck deals to use their own currencies, no dollar needed. Brazil, India, and South Africa are following suit. Looking to build their own economic alliances without relying on the dollar. It's not just about using their own currencies either. BRICS is starting to shift its focus toward creating new systems of trade that bypass the dollar. For example, China's yuan has been included in the International Monetary Fund's Special Drawing Rights (SDR) basket. This allows it to be used in international transactions, similar to the US dollar. Why does this matter? Because the yuan's inclusion in SDR means that more countries can trade in yuan rather than the dollar. China has also been actively pushing its currency as a viable alternative for global trade, particularly in Asia, Africa, and Latin America. In fact, as we speak, more and more countries in the global south are signing deals to trade in local currencies rather than the dollar. Brazil and Argentina have been talking about a shared currency for trade in South America, and the concept of a common BRICS currency is on the table. If these plans come to fruition, it would mark a significant shift away from dollar dependence and lead to the creation of new financial systems, potentially leaving the dollar out in the cold. But why would BRICS want to do this in the first place? The motivation isn't just about competition or geopolitics, it's about control. The US has the unique ability to influence the global financial system through its control of the dollar. This has allowed the US to impose sanctions on countries like Iran and Russia, even though those countries don't engage in trade with the US directly. If BRICS could successfully create a new system that reduces the dollar's influence, they could shift the balance of power in international finance. But there's another factor at play: gold. For years, BRICS countries have been accumulating gold. Brazil, Russia, China, and India are some of the world's largest holders of gold reserves. It's possible that this gold could serve as the backing for a new BRICS currency. Why? Because gold is a tangible asset that historically holds value, unlike fiat currencies which are subject to inflation and economic policies. The rising debt levels in the US and other Western nations also play a crucial role in BRICS plans. The US national debt is at historic highs, and it's growing fast. The dollar has been devalued over time due to inflation and the increase in debt. This makes the dollar less attractive to other countries. If more countries choose to trade in their own currencies or in a BRICS-backed currency, the US may struggle to maintain the dollar's dominance. The once unthinkable idea of a currency system without the dollar is now becoming more feasible, and this could have far-reaching consequences. So, how soon could this all happen? While there's still a lot of uncertainty, we're already seeing significant movement. BRICS is holding summits, creating new economic partnerships, and developing new trade agreements. Their plan is gaining traction, and more countries are on board than ever before. But there are challenges. The US dollar is still deeply embedded in global finance, and many countries are hesitant to make the switch. The US government also has significant power to push back against any attempts to dethrone the dollar, whether through economic sanctions or political pressure. As for the average consumer, what does this mean? The immediate effects might not be noticeable. But if the BRICS plan succeeds, we could see changes in everything from the prices of goods to the way global businesses operate. Trade deals, currency exchange, and even travel could all be affected. Looking further ahead, a world with a less dominant dollar might lead to a more diversified global financial system. A stronger yuan, a rising ruble, or even a BRICS-backed currency could change the way we view money, trade, and economics. But the big question is whether BRICS can sustain its momentum and overcome the obstacles in its path. They face fierce opposition from the West, and creating a currency that can rival the dollar would require global consensus and major changes to the current economic system. So, could the end of the dollar's dominance be a real possibility? It's hard to say, but the rise of BRICS is definitely a challenge that the US can't ignore. In a few years, we may look back at this period as the beginning of a new global economic order. And whether or not the dollar remains the king of currencies, it's clear that the world is changing. BRICS is making sure of it. So, what do you think about the future of the dollar? Will BRICS be able to dethrone it, or will the US keep its hold on global finance? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this deep dive into global economic trends, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insightful content on the forces shaping our financial future.